If we can win both games in this episode, I'm officially going to declare us safe for this season. On the flip side, if we lose both of these games, we've got a really difficult looking run in, and we might well be in a proper relegation battle for the first time all season. Hello and welcome to part 120 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have two Premier League games, at home against Burnley and away against Leeds. As you can see, they are two teams well and truly in the relegation mix, and if we win both of these matches we'll find ourselves on 39 points, which is all but safe with 7 games to go. However, if both of these teams beat us, they're going to be dragging us right back into all this nonsense that's going on down here. And as you can see, we've got some difficult games coming up. Tottenham, Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool. We kind of need to win these games because we ain't winning many of those ones. So form's not been the best going into this either, which is handy. We did make a permanent signing as well at the end of the transfer window. Philip Harrison has now joined the club permanently, £1.2 million from Manchester City. His contract was up in the summer. He immediately got injured and hasn't played since, which I'm blaming this form on. We've done the 4-3-1-2 throughout February. It hasn't really worked. We're going to go back to the diamond today because the diamond was working. Probably shouldn't have meddled. We've learnt before what happens when we drift away from the diamond. We still don't have Harrison fit to play in it, but we do have this guy who we signed in the summer and haven't really utilised yet. Bags of potential, still only 18, so he's going to play. And fingers crossed, we can find a way back to winning ways. So we've got Horvat in goal, a back four of Brown, Turner, Botello and Riviere, with Svejic at the base of the midfield, Samuel and Torres ahead of him, Manu behind Steer and Matondo up front. Let's get into the game and let's just cross everything and hope that we've got a win against Burnley in us. Remember, Burnley are the team that ran away with the championship last season. Well, I say they ran away with it. We were all kind of beating each other until about the last 8 or 9 games, and then Burnley just started winning them. So they were better than us last year, but did we strengthen better in the summer? I still think that the transfer window we had last summer might go down as one of the best we've ever had. Even if we end up relegated, we've got a team that is good enough to come straight back up and probably good enough to fetch in an awful lot of money for us in the summer as well, as we sell maybe half of them, the ones that don't want to play in the championship, and the other half bring us back up again. So I'm not stressed about the idea of getting relegated, but I'll be an awful lot less stressed if we win both of these games and pretty much secure safety. I don't want to be in a relegation battle because we haven't been all season. I've said all along I'm not stressed about getting relegated, but it will be disappointing to get 3/4 of the way through the season and never really being in a battle and then just bottling it and dropping down into the mess right at the end. And it's something we have done before. We've had strong starts and terrible finishes to seasons before, and it is a bit of a problem because my usual method for turning around a team that's in poor form is to go out and sign some players, and obviously you can't do it in March, especially not in the Premier League. Svejic has now picked up an injury. That position is clearly cursed, and we might be forced into going back to the flat midfield 3 because there's no point playing an injured youngster in such a crucial position, which we're just not playing very well. Right, what can we do? I'm going to be aggressive. I haven't been aggressive for a long time. Far from pleased with what I've just seen. Get out there, you morons, and go and win the football match. It's important that we win this football match. Yikes. We're keeping an eye on Svejic. We'll perhaps give him another 15 minutes. What I'd really like to see is not a red card now, but that's exactly what's just happened. For goodness sake. Right. Well, I guess that's our reason for taking off Svejic, because he doesn't play in midfield. We're not going to bring on Sweeney. My assistant manager's lost his mind. We're going to bring on Bogdan to play in midfield. We probably shouldn't play a roaming playmaker in a midfield too, though. What can we do here? You know what? Be a roaming playmaker. A roaming playmaker and a Mezzala in a midfield too, with no one in behind offering support. What's the worst that can happen? Riviere, cross to Manu. Manu's there, but it's just wide from Manu. And I think we probably need to take Ollie Steer off on the hour mark. We need goals, and he doesn't score those. He runs around. We just want a penalty. hold the phone, cancel all decisions. If we've got a penalty and the option to go ahead, then we don't need to make any changes. We've got another referee who's doing a long old lap to get to the little telly. I don't understand. Are they only allowed to enter from the right-hand side? It's very odd. He's just avoiding me because I'm shouting so much. Why is that? Why is that manager talking into a microphone with a camera pointing at him? I'm going to give him a wide berth. We do have a penalty. Excellent. Who on earth is our number 24? I don't know their numbers yet. Manu, number 24. Manu scores. Holme 1, Burnley 0. A 6th goal of the season from Manu. Not quite the superstar we were hoping for yet at £13.5 million. But as the season goes on and he learns more and more English, he is starting to contribute more and more. And he was very cool slotting that penalty home. And that, pun intended, moves us up to 13th place, 10 points clear of the relegation zone. If things stay as they are, that would be incredible. I'm tempted to take Manu off and drop him in. I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna take off Ollie Steer, but I think I'm going to leave Matondo up on his own. We're gonna bring on Papuchiev, stick him in there doing that. We're not going to have multiple playmakers. We know the rules. You can do that. No, we're going to have you. We don't want two Mezzalas. I don't... Actually, you know what? We are going to have two Mezzalas. What's the worst that could happen? They're both just going to push out wide, aren't they? That's the idea. We're going to drop these two back on support because we don't need them operating in as many wide areas if these two are going to be pushing out into them. And we're going to do that. And we're going to try and be sensible. In fact, in the interest of sensibility, complete forward. If we've only got one striker, have him doing everything. He's basically a big man, little man combo up there now. That's my understanding of what a complete forward is. Right. Now we offer a little bit of praise because we are doing very well. We hope this doesn't go in. For goodness sake, that's terrible goalkeeping from Horvat. And I'm going to praise that the praise is going to go through after the goal, isn't it? And they're going to be like, oh, he likes it when we concede. Horvat's been brilliant since he signed, but that was just really poor goalkeeping. And now, all of a sudden, I mean, we don't need to find a goal to win because, I mean, it's a draw would be fine in the circumstances because we're down to 10 men. We're going to bring Harris on from Matondo and see if Anthony Harris, with a little bit of passion, as soon as I get the option to get my passion on, and we hope that we can find a winner, or at the very least not let them do exactly that, and they're in, and they have. Clearly two Mazzalas doesn't work. Clearly a midfield three doesn't work. The clearest thing of all, though, is that having one of your best players get sent off right at the start of the second half, that's troublesome. That doesn't really work. Demand more at this point. Come on, for goodness sake. Find an equaliser from somewhere, because this is a less strong position to be in. I was quite happy being 10 points clear of relegation and up in 13th place. To be fair, we're still 8 points clear and only in 14th. It's not a disastrous turn of events, but it has got Burnley closer to us. And if we go and do this same thing against Leeds, that then drags them closer to us. And then we're into that scenario we talked about before, where yes, there's 7 games left, but 4 of them are against teams in the top 5. So we're going to lose at least 4 of the last 7 off the back of a losing run, and all of a sudden we're looking at it thinking, where are we getting any more points from this season? That was all Marvin Samuel's fault. Just one change for the Leeds game. Papuchiev comes in for the now suspended for 3 games Samuel. What a silly goose. Cost us the game, got himself suspended for 3 very important games. Fingers crossed we can get by without him. It occurred to me when I was putting this team together, swapping one player over. Make yourself sound like a tactical genius, Kev. As I was assembling this side and deciding on our tactical outlook for the game, I switched Papuchiev to a deep line playmaker. I realised we didn't have a playmaker on the pitch for the last game. Samuel was a central midfielder. Manu was playing as an attacking midfielder because I'd switched him to that to allow me to play Bogdan as a roaming playmaker. That might be why we've not been creating very much. We have no one playing in a creative role. So hopefully we'll be a little bit better today. I'm going to start aggressive. I fully expect you to end our poor form here and win this match. I've stressed out the playmaker we've brought into the team, and no one else cared that I was even speaking. I have lost my mind, and I'm going to get us relegated by panicking. Don't panic, Kev. There's still 7. We're still 9 points clear of the relegation zone at the moment with 7 games to go. If we were 9 points clear at the top, for goodness sake. I mean, it's the first attack of the game. How is this happening? Leeds are not a very good football team. And then first attack of the game. Oh, dirty, disgusting, horrible nonsense. Thankfully, it's the teams just below us who are beating us and not the teams down in the relegation zone who appear to be still losing. So, we're getting away with it a little bit at the moment. But as I've emphasised several times already in this episode, we're not going to win many of our run-in. So if we lose this one as well, we're going to have to hope that like 33, 35 points is enough for safety, which I dare say it rarely is. Matondo's got his 10th goal of the season, though, to equalise. It's a typical home goal from the last 5 years or so. Out wide to the fullback, who's basically playing as a winger. One fullback across to the other, and Matondo tucks it away. I mean, that's basically your home trademark right there. Matondo got into double figures in the Premier League in his first season for a team that's struggling in the bottom half. Can't really fault that at all, especially because he's not got the most creative team around him. I think we probably we're gonna do what we tried last year next year. If we're still in the Premier League. I'm actually planning for life in the Premier League. This is bad. If we get relegated, we're coming back up with a diamond. That's already decided. We know it works at that level, and we know we've got a better team now than the one that came up last time. If we're still in the Premier League, I think we're going to have to abandon the diamond next season and try once again for something that gives us a little bit of width further forward so we can have our fullbacks, playing in defence. See, let's give that a try. Try doing 4 defenders and see if that helps. Right, half time. Let's try a different tact. I'm going to go passionate now. We're not doing badly. If everyone continues to work hard, we'll win this. They don't care anymore. They know I've got mood swings going, and they're not interested in any nonsense that I've got to say. We need a little bit of luck. We need to hope that Leeds are more pitiful than we are at the moment, and the fact that they're right down there, just on the edge of the relegation zone, suggests that they might be more incompetent than us. We've just got to hope. They're now on the attack, though, which is a problem because we're not great at defending. We're just letting them have that. We're supposed to be playing a gegenpressing system. We're not doing any closing down apart from when we give away penalties. Although apparently we didn't there. And Svejic clears it as far as Ollie Steer. Steer turns, and it's with Manu. He's got Matondo ahead of him, plays it through to Matondo. Matondo shoots, and it's wide from... Matondo's quick. He should have ran on with that and put the keeper under some pressure, rather than turning and trying to shoot from the edge of the area, which has never been his strong point, really. I don't remember a collection of Chadney Matondo goals from the edge of the area throughout his career. He's been more of a, striker. Duku's coming on for Manu. Sir Anthony Harris on for Ollie Steer. Matondo can go back to playing as complete forward again. And Duku, Trequartista. Let's get some proper creativity going on in here. Get creative. We have a creative player just dancing around, being free, told to go out there and attack in the most creative way you can think of. Hopefully it works. I rarely use Trequartistas, even though I love them. I think if you're playing a Trequartista, you should get the option to have a 12th player on the pitch, because they can go missing for long periods, which I guess is the point. It gives them full creative freedom, but they can go a little bit silly with it. It has to be the right player. I think Duku's got it in him to do it. Hopefully he'll show us that now. But Leeds are on the attack, and they're just destroying us with width over and over again. It's just going back and forth from one side to the other, and we have got away with it a little bit there. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. We cannot afford to lose again. Horvat manages to keep hold of it this time. Let's just go and grab a goal. Turner with a free kick floats it in towards Torres, and Torres scores. Is that onside? It is onside. With 10 minutes to go, we've gone ahead away from home against Leeds. It's not quite the back-to-back victories that we were hoping for in this episode, but 1 win from 2, that'll do. In the circumstances, as anything else isn't an option, that will absolutely do. That puts the gap between us and Newcastle up to 11 points. I know they've got a game in hand, but they're in the relegation zone. Games in hand don't really mean anything down here because you tend to lose them. Right, final change. Svejic. No, just stay on. Botello's... Right, he's playing poorly, he's on a yellow card, and he's tiring, so we'll bring McLeish on for him. McLeish and Turner as our strike partnership to end the game. And let's do some praise now. If praise backfires again, I'm never praising this team again. It's Leeds with a throw-in deep in their own half, but they've somehow managed to turn it into an attack without us getting a challenge in, and they've scored. That has gone from a throw-in in their own, basically level with their own penalty area, to a breakaway goal without us getting anywhere near them. This is just poor. I don't think my team know what pressing is. Ugh. Show some passion. I'm never praising you again, you idiots. 20 seconds left. Let's go and grab a winner. Oh, a win here would have been so delightful. But they're going to score again. Oh my, what Turner with a great interception. And please don't score. We can't afford to lose. We can't really... We can just about afford to draw. But it's been a long time since we've won a football match. And my worry is that's going to start to affect morale as we head into a really, really tough run-in. And like I said, we're not going to get many more points this season. There's 7 games left. We know we're going to lose at least 4 of them. And we've shown in this episode that we're struggling to beat the teams we should be able to beat. So the question is let's say 36 points if we pick up a couple more draws. Is that going to be enough? I just don't know. I'm waiting for an answer. Someone please reassure me and tell me that'll be enough. For goodness sake. Right, I think from there we are just going to cruise through to the end of the season. I don't think you need to watch me suffer for any more than one more episode. Obviously, if things get really dicey and it looks like we could be in a proper relegation battle, I'll come back a little bit sooner. But on the understanding that we're just going to stay about 5 or 6 points clear for the rest of the season now, we'll just come back for Watford and Liverpool. And fingers crossed. Fingers crossed this time. Where are we? Not this time tomorrow because it's Friday. Recording videos in advance is breaking my mind. Hopefully by Sunday lunchtime, we'll all be super happy that we've managed to survive in the Premier League, as unlikely as it seemed at the start of the season. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.